This is part 5 of class 12, chapter 3, current electricity. In this part, we'll discuss the CBSE board questions on Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge experiment, potentiometer experiment. Okay, so this is exercise 2. In exercise 1, we have discussed the CBSE board questions on resistance, resistivity, factors affecting on it. Okay, on EMF, terminal potential difference of a cell. Okay, now let's start with the first question. What is the value of resistance if there is no deflection in the galvanometer? Okay, if there is no deflection in the galvanometer, it is the balanced condition of the Wheatstone bridge. P upon Q should be equal to R upon S in the balanced condition. So 3 upon 7 should be equal to R upon 21. So R is equal to 3 upon 7 into 21, which is equal to 9 ohm. Hence, the unknown resistance is 9 ohm. Question number 2 is, what is the significance of Kirchhoff's law? Okay, where there are two cells, like in the complex circuits, where there are more than one source of EMF, like there are two cells or maybe three cells, where the Ohm's law cannot be used. For such complicated circuits, Kirchhoff's law is used. Question number 3 is, find the value of X resistance if no current flows through AD arm. Okay, so here we see that as no current is flowing through the AD arm, that is through this 10 ohm resistance, so it is the balanced condition of the Wheatstone bridge. So P upon Q should be equal to R upon S, that is 2 upon 3 should be equal to 4 upon X. On simplifying, we get the unknown resistance X to be 6 ohms. Okay, also calculate the current drawn from the battery of EMF 6 volt. Okay, now let this 6 volt EMF battery is giving a current I, which has to be determined. Okay, so in order to find out the current, we have to find out the equivalent resistance of this circuit. Okay, to get the equivalent resistance, we see that this 2 ohm is in series to the 4 ohm resistance. Why? Because no current is flowing through this AD arm. So the current which is flowing through this 2 ohm will be the same across this 4 ohm. So it means 2 and 4 ohms are in series. The same way 3 and X ohm are in series. Okay, so let us redraw this circuit diagram. 2 and 4 are in series, and hence the equivalent of it is 6 ohms. The same way, here 3 and X are in series, where X is equal to 6 ohms. So 3 plus 6, it is 9 ohms. Hence 6 and 9 ohms are in parallel, which is connected, this combination is connected to a 6 volt battery and to a 2.4 ohm resistance. Okay, now let's find out the equivalent of 6 and 9. Here we see that they are in parallel. So let the equivalent is R dash. 1 upon R dash is equal to 1 upon 6 plus 1 upon 9. Okay, on simplifying it, the LCM is 18. Okay, and the numerator is 5. So R dash is equal to 18 upon 5 ohms. Hence, the equivalent resistance of the circuit will be 18 upon 5 plus 2.4 ohms, which is equal to 6 ohms. Okay, now the current we know is equal to the EMF upon the equivalent resistance. EMF is 6 volt and the equivalent resistance is 6 ohms. So hence the current is 1 ampere in the circuit. So through this 6 volt battery, the current which is flowing is 1 ampere. Question number 4 is, given that EMF of cell E1 is greater than E2, when potentiometer is connected between A and B, the balancing length is 300 centimeter. So when the potentiometer is connected between these 2 points, which cell comes in the circuit? The one which is having an EMF E1. So E1 is directly proportional to the balancing length, and the balancing length here is equal to 300 centimeters. So E1 is directly proportional to 300 centimeters when the potentiometer is connected between the points A and B. Further, it is given that when the potentiometer is connected between A and C, the balancing length is 150 centimeters. So when the potentiometer is connected between the points A and C, then the net EMF is equal to E1 minus E2. Okay, as they are connected in this manner, that is the negative terminal of the first battery is connected to the negative of the second. It means the net EMF is E1 minus E2, should be directly proportional to the balancing length, which is 150 centimeters. Dividing these two equations, we get E1 minus E2 upon E1 is equal to 150 upon 300 centimeters, which is equal to 1 upon 2. Okay, on simplifying, that is cross multiplying, we get 2E1 minus 2E2 is equal to E1. Okay, bringing this E1 over here, 2E1 minus E1 is E1 is equal to 2E2. Okay, here you have to calculate the ratio of E1 is to E2. So hence E1 is to E2 is 2 is to 1. Next question number 5 is which potentiometer A or B is more sensitive? Okay, we know that for a potentiometer to be more sensitive, the potential gradient should be less. Okay, now the graph is given for two potentiometers. For a particular length, we see that VB is greater than VA, or you may say that VA is less than VB, and the potential gradient is given by V upon L. For more sensitive, the potential gradient should be less. For a particular length, we are finding this V, and we see that VA is less than VB. So the potential gradient of A wire is less than that of the B wire, and hence A wire is more sensitive. So which potentiometer is more sensitive? A potentiometer is more sensitive. Question number 6 is calculate the equivalent resistance between the points A and B. Also calculate the current through CD arm and ACD arm. If a 10 volt DC source is connected between A and B, given that R is equal to 2 ohms. Okay, now these are the 2 points A and B. A 10 volt battery is connected across it. So the current which is flowing from here will be divided in these two branches. The same way the current which is flowing from this B point will be divided in these two branches. So this R resistance will be the diagonal. This CD will be the diagonal. So it is looking like a Wheatstone bridge. Let us redraw this diagram. It looks to be like a Wheatstone bridge. This is the point A. From A, the current is dividing in these two resistances. So this one is R, this one is R. This point is C, whereas this point is D. So it means this is C, this is D. Again from the point B, you can see that the current is dividing in these two branches. So if this is the point B, the current is dividing in these two branches. And this AB is connected to a 10 volt DC source. It is connected to a 10 volt DC source. Okay, and given that R is equal to 2 ohms. Okay, now here we see that this R upon R is equal to R upon R. That is, it is the balanced condition of the Wheatstone bridge. It means no current will flow through this CD arm. Okay, as it is the balanced condition of Wheatstone bridge. So the current which is flowing through this resistance will be the same to this resistance. That is, these two resistances are in series. The same way, these two resistances are also in series. The equivalent of these two will be in parallel to the equivalent of these two. Okay, so we know that this is 2R and this is also 2R, as no current is flowing through the CD arm. So let us redraw this circuit diagram. It is shown like this. Okay, now this 2R and 2R are in parallel. So the equivalent resistance, as they are in parallel, 1 upon 2R plus 1 upon 2R, which is equal to, take the LCM, 2R, and the numerator is also 2. So R equivalent is equal to R ohms, and given in the question that R is equal to 2 ohm. So hence the equivalent resistance is 2 ohm. Okay, now here you have to find out the current through CD arm, as it is the balanced condition. So no current flows through the CD arm, that is the current through the CD arm is 0. Okay, now here you have to find out the current through ACB. Okay, this is ACB. You have to find out the current through ACB. We know that the current through ACB is equal to potential difference. Okay, this 2R is getting a potential difference of 10 volts upon the equivalent resistance. Here the equivalent resistance across ACB is 2R. So V upon 2R, and V here is given as 10 volts. 2 into R is given as 2 ohms. So 10 upon 4, that is 2.5 amperes. Hence the current to the ACB arm is 2.5 amperes and no current flows through the CD arm. Question number 7 is calculate the current drawn from the battery in the given network. Okay, so here you have to find out this current I, where the potential difference of the battery is given as 4 volt. Now here you have to find out the equivalent resistance of this network. Okay, in order to get the equivalent resistance, let us redraw this circuit diagram. Here we see that from the positive terminal, the current is dividing in these two resistances, that is 1 and 2. The same way from the negative terminal, the current is dividing in 2 and 4 ohm resistances. So this 5 ohm is the diagonal. So let us draw it along the arms of a quadrilateral. Okay, and this 5 ohm resistance will be along the diagonal. So this is the 4 volt battery, and here you have to find out this current I. Okay, now here you see that 1 and 2 ohm are in parallel to each other. Why? Because the current from the positive terminal is dividing in these two branches. The same way from the negative terminal, the current is dividing in 2 ohm and 4 ohm, and hence this 5 ohm resistance is along the diagonal of it. Okay, now let's see whether it is the balanced condition. In order to be balanced condition, P upon Q should be equal to R upon S. P upon Q is 1 upon 2. R upon S is 2 upon 4, which is also equal to 1 upon 2. Hence it is the balanced condition. Now in the balanced condition, we know that no current flows through the 5 ohm resistance. Now let's find the equivalent resistance of it. Here, the current which is flowing through 1 ohm will be the same across this 2 ohm. So 1 and 2 ohm are in series. That is, the equivalent of these two is 3 ohms. Whereas the same way 2 and 4 are also in series. So the equivalent of it is 6 ohms. Okay, so this 3 ohm is in parallel to 6 ohm. So the equivalent resistance of the circuit is 1 upon 3 ohms plus 1 upon 6 ohms. Okay, taking the LCM, we get 6 ohms. That is, R equivalent is equal to 6 upon 3. That is, it is equal to 2 ohms. Okay, now the current is given by V upon R equivalent of the circuit. V here given is 4 volt, and the equivalent resistance is 2 ohm, and hence the current is 2 amperes. Question number 8 is, assuming point A to be at zero potential, use Kirchhoff's rules to determine the potential at point B. Okay, so here we'll apply the Kirchhoff's rules. First, we apply the Kirchhoff's first rule at the junction D. So 4 ampere current is entering the junction D. So the current leaving should also be equal to 4 ampere. So here it is 1 ampere. So through DC arm, the current will be equal to 3 amperes. So that P plus 1, 4 amperes leaving the junction and 4 ampere is entering. Okay, now we'll apply the Kirchhoff's second law in order to find out the potential at point B. Okay, so we consider the direction from A, C, D, B. Let us draw it. Moving from point A, first we get a cell having a potential difference 3 volts. Then we get question number 8 is assuming point A to be at zero potential. Use Kirchhoff's law to determine the potential at point B. Okay, first we apply the Kirchhoff's junction rule, the first rule at the junction D. 4 ampere current is entering the junction, so the current leaving the junction should also be equal to 4 ampere. So current along here is 1 ampere. So the current along DC arm will be equal to 3 amperes. So that the current entering 4 amperes and the current leaving should also be equal to 3 plus 1, 4 amperes. Okay, now let's apply the Kirchhoff's second rule along the direction ACDB. Let us redraw it. Moving from A, first we get a cell of 3 volts. Okay, then moving from C to D, here we get a resistance of 2 ohms across which 3 ampere current is flowing. Then moving from D to B, we get another cell of potential difference 6 volts. Okay, now let us consider this to be a closed circuit. Okay, now we consider the direction from ACDB. So, in the loop, or you can say considering the direction ACDB. Okay, what do we get? We get the potential difference between these 2 points, that is, we get VB minus VA. Okay, now let us apply the Kirchhoff's second rule. Moving from A to C, we are moving from negative to the positive terminal, that is low to high potential. So this potential difference 3 volt will be taken as positive. Now from C to D, moving opposite to the direction of current. So the potential difference is I into R, that is 3 into 2, 6. Okay, so this 6 will be taken as positive. Moving from D to B, we are moving from positive to the negative terminal inside the cell. Okay, that is high to low potential. So this 6 volt will be taken as negative. Okay, so given here that VA is at 0 volt. So VB is equal to 3 volts is the answer. Hence the answer is 3 volts. Number 9 is calculate the value of R in the circuit shown in the figure so that the current in the circuit is 0.2 ampere. What would be the potential difference between the points B and E? Okay, now let us consider these 2 points B and E. And first we find out the equivalent resistance of this rectangular box. Okay, here we see that this 5 ohm and this 10 ohm. 5 ohm along BC arm, 10 ohm along CD arm. These two are connected in series. Why? Because the same current is flowing. So the equivalent of these two is 15 ohms. Okay, now this 15 ohms is in parallel to 10 ohms, which is in parallel to 30 ohms. Okay, so what will be the equivalent of this rectangular box BECD? It will be, let it is R dash. So 1 upon R dash is equal to 1 upon 30 plus 1 upon 10, and the equivalent of this 5 and 10 is 15 ohms. So 1 upon 15. Let us find the equivalent of it. Okay, so here the LCM is 30, 1 plus 3 plus 2. Hence R dash is equal to 30 upon 6. That is, it is equal to 5 ohms. So across BE, the resistance is 5 ohms. Let us redraw it. 8 volt. This is the current, 0.2 amperes. Okay, now across BE, the equivalent resistance is 5 ohms. Here it is 15 ohms. Then there is a battery or a cell having a potential difference 3 volts, and here is the resistance R across which 0.2 ampere current is flowing. Okay, now we'll apply the Kirchhoff's second rule in order to find out this resistance R. Okay, now let us consider the direction from A, B, E. Let us consider this point to be F. So let us apply the Kirchhoff's second rule along the loop A, B, F, A. So in loop A, B, E, F, A, we apply the Kirchhoff's second rule. Okay, moving from A to B, first we get this 8 volt potential difference as we are moving from negative to positive terminal inside the cell. So 8 volt will be taken as positive. Next, here moving from BE arm, we get I into R as the potential difference. Okay, that is 5 into 0.2. Okay, as we are moving along the direction of current, so 5 into 0.2 will be taken as negative. So minus 5 into 0.2. Moving from E to F, here we get 0.2 into R. Again we are moving along the direction of current, so R into 0.2 will be taken as negative, this potential difference. Okay, now moving from F to A, here we get the 3 volt battery. We are moving from positive to the negative terminal inside the cell. So this 3 volt will be taken as negative. Okay, and the current flowing is 0.2 amperes. So this current is along this direction, 0.2 amperes. Okay, it's given in the circuit that the current is 0.2 amperes. Okay, now as we are moving along the direction of current, so again 15 into 0.2 will be taken as negative. So minus 15 into 0.2 should be equal to 0. Okay, now simplifying it, what do you get? R is equal to 1 upon 0.2, that is it is equal to 10 upon 2, that is it is equal to 5 ohm. So hence the resistance, unknown resistance R is 5 ohms. Okay, also you have to find out the potential difference between the points B and E. Okay, the potential difference between the points B and E is equal to current into resistance. Current here is 0.2 amperes and the resistance across B is 5 ohm, and hence the potential difference across B and E is 1 volt. Question number 10. When galvanometers in each arrangement do not show any deflection, obtain the ratio of R1 is to R2. Okay, now in the first circuit diagram, no current flows through the galvanometer. It means P upon Q is equal to R upon S. That is 4 upon 6 is equal to R1 upon 9. Okay, on calculating, we get R1 is equal to 6 ohms. Okay, the same way, here also no current is flowing through this galvanometer. Okay, now here galvanometer and the source of current, that is the cell, can be connected in any one of the diagonals. Okay, so here also P upon Q should be equal to R upon S. That is 6 upon R2 should be equal to 12 upon 8. On simplifying it, you get R2 is equal to 4 ohm. Okay, now in the question it is asked that find the ratio of R1 is to R2. That is 6 upon 4, which is equal to 3 upon 2. Question number 11. Why are the connections between the resistors in a meter bridge made up of thick copper strips? Okay, thick copper strips means the area will be large and the resistance will be negligible, so that these thick copper strips do not contribute any extra resistance. Okay, then B part is, why is it generally preferred to obtain the balance point in the middle of the meter bridge bar? Okay, so if you get the balanced point at the ends, then the percentage error will be more. Okay, so we obtain the balance point in the middle of the meter bridge wire to minimize the percentage error. Next is which material is used for the meter bridge wire and why? We have already studied in the theory that the alloy like constantan, manganese, nichrome, these alloys are used. Why? Because their resistivity is high and the temperature coefficient of resistance is low. That is, with the variation of temperature, the resistance will not change much. Question number 12 is state the principle of working of meter bridge. We know that meter bridge is the practical application of balanced condition of Wheatstone bridge. Hence, it works on Wheatstone bridge. Okay, the next part is in the meter bridge, balance point is found to be at a distance L1 when the resistances R and S are connected as shown in the figure. So when R and S are connected in two gaps, then the balancing length is at L1. When an unknown resistance X is connected in parallel with the resistance S. Okay, now one more resistance X is connected in parallel to S. Now the balance point shifts to a distance L2. L2 may be some anywhere. So it shifts to a point L2 or shifts to a distance L2. Now here you have to find out the expression for X in terms of L1, L2 and S. Okay, when only R and S are connected in the two gaps, then the balancing length is L1. So we know that R upon S, okay, according to the balance condition, P upon Q is equal to R upon S, which will be equal to R upon S will be equal to L1 upon 100 minus L1. Let this is equation number 1. Okay, now when X is connected in parallel to S, let's find out the equivalent of these two resistances as they two are in parallel. Let their equivalent is R dash. So 1 upon R dash is equal to 1 upon S plus 1 upon X. That is R dash will be equal to S into X upon S plus X. Okay, now given that when R and R dash are connected, then the balancing length shifts to L2. Okay, so R upon R dash should be equal to L2 upon 100 minus L2. Now let's substitute this R dash. R upon S into X. Okay, this S plus X will come in the numerator equals to L2 upon 100 minus L2. Let this is equation number 2. Okay, now let us divide these two equations. 2 upon 1. Okay, now left hand side we divide. What do we get? R into S plus X upon X into S. Okay, upon R by S equals to L2 upon 100 minus L2 divided by L1 upon 100 minus L1. Okay, this R and S and S and S cancels out. So the left hand side we get it as S plus X upon X is equal to, okay, L2 upon 100 minus L2 into 100 minus L1 upon L1. Okay, that is S upon X plus 1, S upon X plus X upon X, which is 1, is equal to, we can write it as L2 upon L1, 100 minus L1 upon 100 minus L2. Okay, so S upon X is equal to L2 upon L1, 100 minus L1 upon 100 minus L2 minus 1. We have taken 1 on the right hand side. Okay, now here we have to find out X in terms of L1, L2 and S. So let us find its reciprocal. X upon S will be equal to 1 upon L2 upon L1, 100 minus L1 upon 100 minus L2 minus 1. Okay, now here you will get X in terms of S, L1 and L2. Hence X is equal to, here it is given, X is equal to S upon L2 by L1, 100 minus L1 upon 100 minus L2 minus 1. Okay, and further simplifying it, you will get this answer also, or you can keep it as such. So here we have found out this resistance X in terms of S, L1 and L2. Question number 13 is, in a potentiometer experiment for determining the EMF of a cell, the balance point of the cell in the open circuit is 350 centimeters. So EMF is directly proportional to the balancing length, that is E is directly proportional to 350 centimeter. When a resistance of 9 ohm is used in the external circuit, the balance point shifts to 300 centimeter. Okay, so when this resistance is also there, then it is measuring the terminal potential difference of the cell, okay, which is given as 300 centimeters. The balancing length is 300 centimeters. Okay, the resistance is 9 ohms. R is equal to 9 ohms. Okay, this is the same experiment to find out the internal resistance of the cell. Either you can use directly the formula, or let us derive it once again. So E upon V is equal to 350 upon 300. E here is equal to I into external resistance plus the internal resistance of the cell, whereas V is equal to I into R. 350 upon 300. I and I you can cancel out. So 1 plus R upon capital R is equal to 35 upon 30. That is R upon capital R is equal to 35 upon 30 minus 1, where this capital R is given as 9 ohms. So R is equal to 35 by 30 minus 1 into 9 ohms. Okay, on simplifying it, you get the internal resistance to be 1.5 ohms. Okay, question number 14 is, a 10 volt cell of negligible internal resistance is connected in parallel to another battery of 200 volts whose internal resistance is 38 ohms as shown in the figure. You have to find out the value of the current I. Okay, now let us apply Kirchhoff's second law in the loop A, B, C, D, A. So in loop A, B, C, D, A, moving from A to B, first we get the potential difference to be 10 volt. Okay, as the direction considered is from positive to the negative terminal inside the cell. So 10 volt will be taken as negative. Okay, then moving along the direction of current, 38 into I will be again taken as negative. Why? Because we are moving along the direction of current. Okay, then is 200 volt moving from negative to positive terminal inside the cell. So this 200 will be taken as positive, is equal to 0. Okay, so it is equal to 200 minus 10 is 190. Take it on that side, minus 190. Hence, I is equal to 190 upon 38. That is, it is equal to 5 amperes. Question number 15. State the working principle of meter bridge to measure an unknown resistance. We know that it is the balanced condition of Wheatstone bridge. B part is give reason why the connections between the resistors in a meter bridge are made up of thick copper strips. Why? Because they will not contribute any extra resistance. Thick means area is more, so the resistance will be negligible. Why is it preferred to obtain the balance length near the midpoint of the bridge wire to minimize the percentage error? C part is calculate the potential difference across 4 ohm resistor using Kirchhoff's rules. Okay, so here let the current through the 8 volt battery be I1 and through the 6 volt battery be I2. Now at this junction, I1 is entering and I2 is also entering. So the current through here will be I1 plus I2. Let it is equal to I. So across this arm EF, that is across this 4 ohm resistance, the current is I. Okay, now here we have to apply the Kirchhoff's rule in the loop A, B, C, D, A, then in the loop B, C, F, E, D. Okay, in order to get the current I, if we get the current I, then we can find out the potential difference across this 4 ohm resistor. Okay, the potential difference across the 4 ohm resistor will be equal to I into 4. Okay, so first we'll find out this I. Okay, so at this junction, we apply the first rule, that is I is equal to I1 plus I2. Let this is equation number 1. Okay, then in the loop A, B, C, D, A, let us apply the second rule. Okay, so let's draw the direction A, B, C, D, A. Moving from A to B, first we get the potential difference to be 8 volt, which is the EMF of the cell. Okay, as we are moving from positive to the negative terminal inside the cell, so this will be minus 8. Okay, then across this 2 ohm resistor, the current is I1. Okay, and the direction considered is opposite to I1. So 2I1 potential difference will be positive. Okay, moving from B to C, there is no potential difference. Okay, moving from C to D, here we see that 1 into I2 is one of the potential difference across the 1 ohm resistor. So 1 into I2. Okay, now here we are moving along the direction of current. So this will be minus. Okay, then the next is the 6 volt battery. As we are moving from negative to the positive terminal inside the cell, so this 6 will be taken as positive. Plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so 2I1 minus I2 minus 2 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. Okay, now let us apply the Kirchhoff's second rule in the loop D, C, F, E, D. So in the loop D, C, F, E, D. So here we draw the direction. Okay, moving from D to C, the first potential difference is the EMF of the cell, 6 volts. Okay, as we are moving from positive to the negative terminal, so this 6 volt will be taken as negative minus 6 according to the sign convention. Moving from positive to the negative terminal inside the cell, the potential difference is taken as negative. Okay, then I2 into 1. Okay, as the direction considered is opposite to the direction of the current, so 1 into I2 will be taken as positive. Okay, moving from C to F, no potential difference. Okay, moving from F to E, we get the potential difference as 4 into I. Again, this is opposite to the direction of the current, so this will be taken as positive. Plus 4 into I is equal to 0. Okay, now here we know that I is equal to, from equation number 1, I is equal to I1 plus I2 is equal to 0. Okay, so minus 6 plus I2 plus 4I2. So this will be plus 5I2 plus 4I1 is equal to 0. Let this is equation number 3. Okay, now simplifying equation number 2 and equation number 3, we'll get I1 and I2, which we can substitute in equation number 1 to get I. Okay, on simplifying it, we get I1 is equal to 8 upon 7 ampere. I2 is equal to 2 by 7 ampere. Okay, so I, which is equal to I1 plus I2, from equation number 1, we get I to be 10 by 7 ampere. Okay, now we got I, so we can find out the potential difference across this 4 ohm resistor. The potential difference across the 4 ohm resistor is equal to I into R. Okay, here I is 10 upon 7 and the resistance is 4 ohm. So hence the potential difference is 40 upon 7 volt. Question number 16, which is coming 2020 for 1 mark. Okay, it's a MCQ question. A potentiometer can measure EMF of a cell because 4 options are given. The sensitivity of potentiometer is large. B is no current is drawn from the cell at the balance. C option is no current flows in the wire of the potentiometer at the balance. And the D option is internal resistance of the cell is neglected. Okay, we know that at the balance point, there is no current flowing in the potentiometer wire. So the correct option is C. Question number 17, again which had come in 2020 for 1 mark. Kirchhoff's first rule at a junction in an electrical network deals with the conservation of, we know that the first rule, that is the junction rule, is based on conservation of charge. So the B option is correct. Question number 18, which had again come in 2020 for 2 marks. Explain the principle of working of meter bridge. We know that it is based on balanced condition of Wheatstone bridge. Draw the circuit diagram for the determination of unknown resistance using it. Okay, so already in the theory we have studied about it. Okay, and the circuit diagram also we have studied. So from there you can refer and watch it. Okay, so this exercise we have completed. In the next exercise, which will be shortly coming in the next part, we'll discuss the heating effect of electric current. Okay, and also the board questions which had come based on heating effect of electric current. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.